So I know it's fun to look ahead at gear that's coming out. Of course, the MPC Live 3 is the one that I'm probably the most excited and looking forward to seeing when they drop it. But this is a piece that's been in talks for a minute, and I've had in the past the X Key Air, which is a branch off of this. ESI bought them out, and I think another company together, they worked together to put this piece together. And it's basically the same thing, except for this one has a digital synthesizer built into it, which is crazy. So we're just going to look at the specs. Of course, it's pre-order right now. They're not out. Um, but this is battery powered as well as has Bluetooth and the ability to use it as a MIDI controller, but also use it as a synthesizer. So you'll see it's 25 keys with an integrated audio MIDI interface. That's super cool. Virtual analog subtractive synthesis engine based on ROM samples. So, yeah, it's probably not needed, but this is a portable keyboard that can go along with your MPC or your iPad or whatever else you're using with a 10 voice polyphony. And the fact that it's not only ultra thin aluminum, but you're getting 3 oscillators per voice, 3 LFOs, 3 AHDSR envelopes, 16 modulation matrix with slots for sound design. I mean, the thing's incredible. 4 banks that you can store and recall, 128 patches, 512 sounds. I mean, you can read the list. It goes on and on. The OLED screen is kind of dope to have. Should be easy to read. USB-C connectivity for data and power. Of course, you got your MIDI in and out via the 3.5 TRS jack, the headphones. So you could sit around with this and just practice playing stuff. I'm gonna tell you in just a second what it doesn't have that I wish it did, but I'll get there. An auxiliary input, which is great. You have the 24-bit 96 kilohertz class compliant audio interface for recording aux in and sent to your computer. So recording in and then sending it back out to the computer is pretty fresh. So it's basically an audio interface and a keyboard, which is cool. The onboard MIDI interface, and then they have an application that'll let you be able to sound design a little bit deeper, which is really good. For this price, that's insane because I've heard that they might eventually add where you can bring your own wave sounds in, and that would be next level. And I think, or if I remember right, the previous versions were about this same price, and they were just a MIDI controller with a battery and etc. So yeah, you lose the wheels, but the buttons are actually really good. And for a few years ago, I used to actually only use that. I had the 37 key version. Of course, it didn't have the synthesizer built into it, but I think this is a solid buy. Now, the one thing that is missing that I want to see added, and I think most of the MIDI controllers coming out, particularly the Launch Key Mark IV, have this, and that is scale lock. I think they need to put scale lock in here. That would take it to the next level because that's a feature that many of us use for quick access to come up with ideas and chord creating. And if you could put scale lock in this, where at least you can set your scale and then set maybe all of it to the white keys, that would be perfect. That would, to me, set it off at the next level. Of course, I would love to see a 37 key version. 37 is usually where I prefer to be, but this is more portable. And that's what it's about, portability. You could take this with your M8 or this with your Move or whatever other sampler you have, or even with your iPhone and just use Koala with it. And can you imagine this into Koala? Now you have a synthesizer, plus you have your sampling, plus you can play your chords. You can, pretty nice. So, in my opinion, this right here, if you can get used to the flat, let me show you how thin that thing is. See, if you can get used to this thin keys with a slightly raised keys, which for me wasn't a problem. But here's the kicker. I know a lot of people say, well, there's no action on the key, but check this out. It's a 25 key bed with velocity and polyphonic aftertouch. Come on now. So enough said. I think you get the point. There is a lot here to unpack. It has a master EQ for studio ready sound, so the sounds are going to sound good. That's huge. Of course, you get the octave shift, the hold functions, and the portamento. Um, Pitch bend buttons, which is good, and the pressure sensitive modulation. I know that they've probably improved it since the version I had, because why not, right? So this is on my radar, and I'm not saying it should be on yours, but if you need portability in a keyboard, you don't mind 25 keys, having the synthesizer built into the keyboard, and the fact that it has headphone jack and audio in and out, USB-C audio in and out. Come on now. So I'll leave you with that. Take a look at it yourself. Perfect Circuit is a place you can pre-order. They do not sponsor this. I'm just showing you because this is where I know that you can access it and order it. Um, I don't know when they're going to be released. It doesn't really give any information on it. It just tells you that you can pre-order it. So if it's something that you want, click that ad. You can add it to your cart and then make your way over there and be ready when you're ready to purchase it. You can also look for sales, but because this is a new pre-order item, I don't think they allow discounts on pre-order items that you are just coming out. So if this is something you're waiting a few months for, allow it to come out, watch some demo videos on it, do your research, see if it's something that you might be interested in. But I can tell you now, this with Koala would be a nice little combo, and you could do all your tracks like that. So anyway, I'll leave you with this. Take a look at it, and I'll see you on the next video.